Imagine waking up tomorrow with cleaner cells, sharper energy, and a body that finally listens to insulin again. Sounds impossible, right? But what if just one day and one simple ingredient could flip that switch? What if a single spoon of olive oil used the right way could activate one of the most powerful repair systems inside your body? Today, we're exploring a claim that has shocked scientists, biohackers, and wellness experts alike that olive oil combined with a short fasting window might double autophagy and help reverse insulin resistance faster than you think. Most people have no idea what's actually happening inside their cells when they fast. They don't know that there's a hidden cleanup crew that wakes up only when insulin stays low. And they definitely don't know how certain nutrients, like the ones hiding inside high quality olive oil, may trigger deeper repair than a normal fast. This isn't the usual fast for weight loss story. This is about what your body does behind the scenes, in the quiet hours when fuel drops and survival mode takes over. Autophagy is not just a buzzword. It's a biological recycling system that breaks down damaged proteins, malfunctioning mitochondria, and slow aging cells. And the shocking part, many experts believe you can supercharge it without doing a full water fast. But the real plot twist is this: insulin resistance, one of the biggest health problems today, might respond far faster than people think, not through extreme diets, not through endless supplements, but through a strategic combination of fasting and olive oil. This idea sounds almost too good to be true, yet pieces of research show something interesting. Certain compounds in extra virgin olive oil may improve how your cells respond to insulin. Some studies suggest they protect the pancreas, reduce oxidative stress, and help restore cellular communication. And when insulin stays low, autophagy rises. Put these two concepts together, and you get a fascinating possibility that a 1 day olive oil fast could push your cells into deeper repair mode while lowering insulin spikes at the same time. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how that process works. You'll discover why olive oil behaves differently from other fats. You'll learn what makes polyphenols so powerful and how they interact with your mitochondria, the energy engines of your cells. You'll see why some doctors believe olive oil helps stabilize blood sugar levels. You'll understand how fasting silently activates your body's cleaning and repair systems. And most importantly, you'll learn whether this method is real science or just another viral claim. Stay with me until the end because also going to reveal a few lesser known facts that most people never hear about. Why your cells might respond to fasting differently depending on the fat you consume. Why some fats trigger inflammation while olive oil often calms it. Why polyphenols may mimic some effects of calorie restriction. And why insulin resistance sometimes improves not in months, but in hours when the body is given the right conditions. We're going to break all of this down in simple, clear language. No hype, no guesswork, just fascinating science explained in a way that actually makes sense. You'll see how fasting changes your hormone signals, how olive oil affects insulin, how autophagy shifts into high gear, and how all of these pieces might work together. Whether you're curious, skeptical, or simply exploring new ways to take control of your health, this video will give you real value, real clarity, and a few surprises along the way. And here's one more reason to watch until the end. We'll talk about the potential risks and mistakes people make when attempting something like this. Most viewers skip this part and end up doing the method in a way that doesn't work, or worse, backfires. You're going to learn how to avoid those mistakes, how to do this safely, and what signs your body gives when autophagy is actually kicking in. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand the complete picture, the benefits, the limits, the science, and the strategy. So, if you've ever wondered whether a simple food like olive oil could influence something as powerful as cellular repair, if you've ever struggled with blood sugar, energy crashes, cravings, or insulin issues, or if you're just curious about how the body heals itself from the inside out, this is the video you don't want to miss. The truth is more fascinating than the myths, and the real story of olive oil fasting is far more dramatic than the internet rumors. Welcome to our channel, where we break down complex science into simple ideas that anyone can use. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our next deep dive. Let's jump in. Autophagy sounds like a complicated scientific term, but the idea behind it is surprisingly simple. Inside every cell, there's constant activity. Proteins folding, mitochondria producing energy, enzymes breaking things apart, new materials being built. With all this action, things eventually get worn out. Pieces break, proteins misfold, mitochondria get tired. Normally, if this junk stays inside your cells, it slows everything down. Your energy drops, your metabolism stumbles, aging speeds up. That's where autophagy steps in. Think of it as the body's built-in cleanup crew, always ready to sort through damaged parts and recycle what no longer works. It's not just cleaning for the sake of cleaning, it's a renewal system, turning old material into fresh fuel. This process works quietly in the background. You don't feel it happening. There's no alarm, no signal, no internal notification. But when autophagy switches on, cells become more efficient. They start removing old components and replacing them with stronger versions. Your body is constantly repairing itself, and autophagy is one of the core tools that makes that possible. When this system functions well, cells look younger under a microscope. They respond better to signals. They produce energy more smoothly. They even communicate better with neighboring cells. The body becomes sharper from the inside out. The fascinating part is how autophagy protects you from damage long before you notice anything is wrong. For example, when proteins misfold, they can clump together. Those clumps can interfere with normal cell activity. Autophagy breaks them down before they pile up. Damaged mitochondria are especially harmful because they leak oxidative stress. Autophagy identifies them, removes them, and makes space for new, efficient mitochondria. This internal housekeeping helps your metabolism run like a well-oiled machine. It also reduces inflammation, since many inflammatory problems begin with cells filled with broken parts they can't get rid of. Autophagy isn't always active at full power. It's influenced by what you eat, how often you eat, and how much energy your cells have available. When the body senses that nutrients are low, especially when insulin levels fall, autophagy tends to rise. It's the body's way of surviving lean times by reusing old material. Instead of relying on food from the outside, your cells start finding resources on the inside. This shift becomes a powerful repair mode. It's one reason fasting has become so interesting to researchers. When the body stops focusing on digestion, it often shifts toward maintenance and cleanup. But autophagy doesn't only wake up during fasting. Exercise can nudge it too, especially when muscles burn through stored energy. Sleep plays a role, giving the body long, quiet hours to repair itself. Even stress, in small, controlled amounts, can activate autophagy, preparing the body to withstand harsher conditions. This flexible system has helped humans survive unpredictable environments for thousands of years. One of the reasons autophagy matters so much today is that modern life rarely gives the body a break. Constant snacking, heavy meals, long sitting hours, poor sleep, sugar spikes, all of these keep autophagy low. When cleanup slows down, damage accumulates. Energy becomes uneven. Cells age faster. But when autophagy rises, even for a short time, the repair can be noticeable. People often report clearer thinking, better energy, and more stable blood sugar after periods where autophagy has been active. Understanding autophagy is like discovering there's a secret maintenance crew inside you, always ready to refresh your cells. You can't see it working, but you can feel the results when it gets the space it needs. Insulin resistance is one of those hidden problems that grows quietly inside the body long before any symptoms appear. To understand it, imagine insulin as a key. Its job is simple: open the doors of your cells so glucose, the sugar from your food, can enter and be used for energy. But in insulin resistance, something strange happens. The keys still work, the locks are still there, yet the doors barely open. The cells stop responding the way they should. They act stubborn, almost deaf to insulin's message. So the sugar stays in your bloodstream, floating around with nowhere to go. And your body reacts by producing even more insulin, trying desperately to force the cells to listen. This constant push and pull creates a silent storm. High sugar on one side, high insulin on the other. The body enters a stressful cycle, and over time, everything becomes harder. Your pancreas works overtime, pumping out more and more insulin. Your cells become even more resistant, and your blood sugar rises like a slow creeping tide. Many people walk around for years without knowing it's happening. They just feel tired. They crave sweets. They gain weight around the belly. They think it's normal aging. But beneath the surface, insulin resistance is reshaping their metabolism. One of the first things that happens is fat storage increases. When insulin stays high, the body receives a signal to store energy rather than burn it. So fat begins to accumulate, especially around the waist. This is why many people say they gain weight easily or can't lose fat no matter what they try. It's not a lack of willpower, it's hormones working against them. And when the cells ignore insulin, the body doesn't just store fat, it also struggles to use the fat already stored. The metabolism becomes sluggish, like an engine full of sludge. Inflammation also begins to rise. High insulin and high glucose create stress inside cells. This stress leads to tiny chemical reactions that damage tissues, irritate blood vessels, and disrupt hormone signals. Over time, inflammation becomes chronic, always present, always draining energy. This is why people with insulin resistance often feel bloated, foggy, or slow. They wake up tired and go to bed tired. Their body is constantly fighting a battle they can't see. And at the far end of this chain lies an even bigger risk: diabetes. Insulin resistance is the doorway to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and metabolic disorders. It's the foundation, the first step. Before blood sugar becomes dangerously high, before diagnoses, before medication, insulin resistance is already working behind the scenes. Yet, most people never learn how it started or how to reverse it. What makes this condition so interesting is that it's not sudden. It builds from years of small habits: too much sugar, too many processed foods, too little movement, poor sleep, constant stress. Each one pushes the cells a little further away from insulin's signal. But this also means something important. With the right changes, the process can often be slowed, improved, or even reversed. The body is always trying to return to balance. It just needs the environment to do so. Olive oil looks simple on the surface, but inside it holds one of the most powerful combinations of natural compounds found in any food. Extra virgin olive oil, especially the high quality cold pressed kind, is packed with oleic acid, a monounsaturated fat that behaves very differently from the fats most people eat. Oleic acid is smooth, stable, and resistant to oxidation, which means it doesn't break down easily or create harmful byproducts inside your body. Along with oleic acid, EVOO contains something even more interesting: polyphenols. These are plant chemicals that act like tiny warriors, fighting stress inside your cells and supporting the way your body handles sugar and inflammation. Most people use olive oil for cooking or salads, but they have no idea that every spoonful carries dozens of active compounds working together, almost like a microscopic health team. What makes these polyphenols so special is how they interact with your cells. They don't just sit around waiting to be used. They actually communicate with your cell membranes and signaling pathways. Some help calm inflammation by reducing the activity of overactive immune molecules. Others help protect mitochondria, the small energy generators inside your cells. When mitochondria stay healthy, your whole metabolism performs better. And some polyphenols even influence how your cells listen to insulin, the hormone that moves sugar out of your blood and into your cells. When cells react poorly to insulin, sugar piles up, energy crashes, and the body often responds by storing more fat. But the compounds inside olive oil appear to help smooth out those signals, making the body more responsive and balanced. There's also growing interest in how olive oil might protect insulin producing cells in the pancreas. These cells are delicate and sensitive to stress. When they're damaged, insulin levels drop and blood sugar levels rise. In controlled experiments on animals and cells, some components of extra virgin olive oil helped shield these insulin producing cells from oxidative stress and inflammation. That doesn't mean olive oil is a cure, but it does show that the fat you choose can influence the health of your metabolic system in surprising ways. It's fascinating to think that the same oil people drizzle on toast or pasta could be quietly supporting the very machinery that keeps blood sugar under control. Another interesting angle is how olive oil behaves during fasting or low carb periods. Because oleic acid doesn't spike insulin, it allows the body to stay in a low insulin state. When insulin is low, fat burning rises, and certain cellular repair processes become more active. Among these processes is autophagy, the natural cleaning cycle inside your cells. While traditional fasting triggers autophagy by withholding calories, some believe that small amounts of olive oil may support deeper repair by delivering antioxidants without interrupting the low insulin environment. It's a rare combination, providing nutrients while still maintaining the calm metabolic conditions the body needs for internal cleaning. EVOO is also known for supporting the stability of cell membranes. Healthy membranes allow nutrients to flow in and waste to flow out. When membranes are flexible and strong, cells communicate better, respond faster, and repair damage more efficiently. Polyphenols help keep these membranes from becoming stiff or inflamed, especially in people exposed to stress, poor diet, or sedentary habits. This is part of why some researchers call olive oil a cell-friendly fat. It works with your biology instead of against it. Even the aroma and bitterness of olive oil come from active compounds with benefits, that peppery sensation at the back of your throat. It's a sign of strong polyphenols at work. These same compounds help defend your tissues from oxidative stress, the kind of slow damage that builds up over years and makes cells age faster. By reducing this stress, olive oil creates an environment where insulin signals flow more smoothly, inflammation stays lower, and cells stay more resilient. When you look at all of these effects together, the oleic acid supporting stable metabolism, the polyphenols protecting cells, the anti inflammatory signals calming the system, and the influence on insulin responsiveness, it becomes clear why olive oil is more than just a kitchen ingredient. It's a unique blend of natural chemicals that seem almost engineered to work with the body's repair and balance systems. The idea sounds almost too simple. Take a break from food, but instead of doing a strict water fast, allow yourself only olive oil for the entire day. No carbs, no protein, no snacks, just pure extra virgin olive oil in small controlled amounts. At first, it feels strange, even counterintuitive. Most people associate fasting with drinking only water and pushing through hunger until their body finally switches into repair mode. But this version adds a twist, and that twist is what makes the concept so interesting. It suggests that olive oil might support the fasting process rather than interrupt it. You're still keeping calories low, but you're also giving your body a very clean, simple source of energy that barely affects insulin at all. The moment people hear this, they ask the same question: why olive oil? Why not coconut oil, butter, or any other fat? The theory is that olive oil has a special combination of healthy fats and antioxidants that interact with the body differently. Fat in general doesn't spike insulin the way carbohydrates or protein do, but the unique compounds inside olive oil may go even further. They might soothe inflammation, support cell membranes, and deliver plant based antioxidants that the body uses as raw material for repair. So instead of shutting down the fasting process, olive oil could help create a smoother, deeper fasting experience. That's why some people believe this method may let the body slip into autophagy, cellular cleaning, faster and with less discomfort. Autophagy is one of the main reasons this method gets attention. It is the body's internal recycling system that wakes up when energy and insulin levels drop. During autophagy, cells search for damaged parts, misfolded proteins, and tiny broken structures. They pull them apart and rebuild them into something useful. A water fast can activate this process, but it's often physically difficult. The theory behind olive oil fasting is that small doses of pure fat keep insulin quiet while making the fast easier to tolerate. If insulin stays low, autophagy has a clear path to rise. And a smoother fast means some people may last longer, giving their body more time in that heightened repair zone. Then there's the insulin side of the story. High insulin turns off autophagy, but low insulin does the opposite. When you take in only olive oil, your insulin barely moves because fat has almost no effect on it. With no carbs to break down, no protein to convert into glucose, and no sugar to manage, the body simply burns fat for energy and stays in a low insulin state. This is where the method's second promise comes in: improved insulin sensitivity. By giving the pancreas a full day off and keeping blood sugar stable, some believe the body becomes more responsive to insulin afterward, a reset of sorts. Cells may listen more clearly when insulin signals them again. And when you combine these two effects, deep cellular cleaning from autophagy and smoother insulin signaling, you get the core of the claim that one day of olive oil only fasting could help push the body into a more efficient, more repaired, more responsive state. Whether or not this becomes a long-term solution, the idea itself sparks curiosity because of how simple, elegant, and unexpected it is. The thought that a single ingredient could guide the body toward both repair and balance is what keeps this method at the center of so many conversations about fasting and metabolic health. Science can be exciting, but it becomes even more fascinating when it surprises us. And when it comes to olive oil fasting, the reality is a mix of both promise and uncertainty. Many people online talk about dramatic results, powerful detox effects, and instant cellular upgrades. But before we accept any of that, we have to take a closer look at what actual research shows. When scientists gathered data from 51 controlled trials and analyzed how people responded to regular olive oil intake, the findings weren't as explosive as the internet makes them sound. Across all participants, the improvements in blood sugar, insulin levels, long term glucose markers, and measured insulin resistance were not strong enough to reach statistical significance. It wasn't a universal miracle. It didn't transform every person. It didn't erase metabolic issues overnight. But here's where things get interesting. Inside that same massive review, researchers noticed a pattern hiding beneath the averages. Not everyone responded the same way. For certain groups, especially those consuming around 25 to 50 grams of olive oil a day, there were signs of improvement in a key measure of insulin resistance known as HOMA-IR. That means dosage matters. It means the type of olive oil matters. And it means the standard one-size-fits-all message doesn't quite apply. What works for some people may not work for others, but the potential is there waiting to be understood more deeply. Animal research adds another layer to this story. In controlled experiments with mice, diets enriched with extra virgin olive oil appeared to do much more than simply provide calories. These mice showed better insulin sensitivity. They handled glucose more effectively. Their insulin-producing cells inside the pancreas were better protected from damage. It's like the olive oil didn't just feed them, it shielded them, supported them, helped their cells function more smoothly. These effects didn't come from magic. They came from the compounds inside the oil itself. When scientists zoom in even further down to the molecular level, the plot becomes even more compelling. Olive oil is rich in oleic acid, a healthy monounsaturated fat, and polyphenols, powerful plant compounds that act like cellular guardians. These substances appear to influence insulin signaling pathways, helping cells communicate more efficiently. They reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, two forces that slowly wear down the body's metabolic machinery. They help protect beta cells, the cells responsible for producing insulin. In theory, these effects support better metabolic function, which is why some people believe olive oil could play a role in insulin sensitivity and perhaps even cellular repair. But here's where the truth demands honesty. There is still no strong human clinical evidence that doing a one-day olive oil fast can double autophagy or dramatically reverse insulin resistance. The bold claims floating around online aren't backed by large controlled human studies. Most of the exciting mechanisms come from animal research or cellular studies. Valuable and informative, yes, but not always directly transferable to real human bodies living real human lifestyles. The concept is intriguing. The science behind olive oil's components is promising. But the specific claim that this method triggers huge autophagy spikes in a single day remains speculative. It's a puzzle with missing pieces, a theory waiting to be proven, a story still being written. When people hear the phrase balanced conclusion, they expect a neat answer, a final verdict, a simple yes or no. But the truth behind olive oil fasting is far more layered, far more intriguing, and far more connected to how the human body behaves when it's pushed into a state of repair. If you use olive oil the right way, consistently and intentionally, your body may reward you in ways you can actually feel. The first thing people often notice is a shift in how steady their energy becomes. Insulin sensitivity starts to improve when the body isn't constantly fighting sugar spikes. And olive oil's healthy fats can help smooth out that internal chaos. Over time, those subtle improvements can add up: cleaner cell function, calmer inflammation, a body that feels a little less weighed down. And when the body's repair systems can work without distraction, people often report better focus, lighter digestion, and a sense of internal reset that's hard to describe but impossible to miss. But here's the twist. While these benefits are possible, they're not guaranteed. Olive oil fasting is not a stopwatch that triggers instant miracles. The idea that a single day can double autophagy sounds exciting, but the science isn't nearly that fast or that simple. Autophagy doesn't flip on like a light switch. It rises gradually, influenced by genetics, diet history, stress levels, and metabolic health. Claiming that one specific method can force it to skyrocket in every person ignores how complex the human body really is. Some people might experience deep cellular repair within hours of fasting. Others might need much longer. And even though olive oil contains compounds linked to better insulin function, no study has ever proven that a 1 day olive oil fast can erase insulin resistance in dramatic fashion. What we do know is this: the body responds well to consistency, quality, and balance. If someone uses high quality extra virgin olive oil as a regular part of their diet, their cells are exposed to helpful fats, antioxidants, and protective compounds again and again. That repetition is what creates real change. It's the difference between giving your cells a single workout versus training them daily. And combining that with moments of strategic fasting creates an environment where the body doesn't have to juggle blood sugar swings or constant digestion, allowing deeper repair to unfold. But even then, this isn't a magic fix. It's more like a tool, powerful when used correctly, disappointing when used as a shortcut. People often forget how easy it is to overdo calories with olive oil, especially when they believe more equals better. But the body doesn't work that way. Too much olive oil during a fast may stop you from reaching the lower insulin state needed for cellular repair. Too little, and your energy may crash. The key is finding a balance that supports the body instead of overwhelming it. It also means pairing this method with habits that actually matter: sleep that restores the brain, movement that wakes up the muscles, a diet that feeds the cells real nutrients. When these pieces come together, the body has a better chance of renewing itself from the inside out. And that's why this topic is so fascinating. It sits at the point where science meets possibility, where ancient wisdom meets modern curiosity, where people are searching for ways to regain control over their health without extreme measures. The promise is real enough to explore, yet uncertain enough to keep us cautious. The results can be meaningful, yet the method demands respect. The body can transform, yet it refuses to be rushed. Before we wrap up, take a moment and ask yourself a simple question. Could this be a tool, not a magic bullet? Something that helps you understand your body better, guides you towards smarter choices, and gives you a new way to think about energy, repair, and metabolic health. Not a shortcut, not a miracle, but a tool you can use with awareness and intention. And if you're someone dealing with blood sugar swings, stubborn fatigue cravings, or insulin resistance, please remember this part clearly. Always talk to a health professional before jumping into any extreme form of fasting or drastic dietary change. Your biology is unique. Your needs are personal. A quick method you see online might not fit your body's current state, and the safest results come from informed decisions. If this video opened your eyes, taught you something new, or simply made you look at olive oil and fasting in a new way, then make sure to like this video it helps us reach more people who are searching for the same answers you are. And if you want more science backed health deep dives explained in simple and fascinating ways, then subscribe to our channel. Stay curious, keep learning, and join us as we explore how nutrition, fasting, and body repair truly work behind the scenes.
Thanks for watching.